Hey up team, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. As someone who's not put thousands and thousands and thousands of hours into this game and is still in the early mid game, I would say that my opinion is quite unique in this sense. I don't see that many people playing this game and making content about it who are in a similar position to me. Obviously there will be people like that. You do tend to see that most of the people who create content for this game are veterans and have many hours and years of experience in it, so I think my opinion is quite valid for someone who's pretty standard player, and yeah, hopefully I can voice the opinions of the majority. Not that it matters because it's just my opinion anyway and not everyone will agree, but here we are. Jagex has released the concept for a new Slayer boss which will require 92 Slayer to defeat, and take a guess at what kind of monster it is. That's right, it's a spider. We're adding to the ranks of Venenatis, Spindle and Arachnis, and we're adding another spider, the Araxxor. So normally, I don't normally read the patch notes, but I figured I'd do myself and you a favour and read through them, just to get a bit more of an idea of what's happening in the game and what's going to be coming to the game, obviously in the form of content. Now, as you can see, I obviously don't have the Slayer level for this. I'm quite a long way off, but for all you people who aren't massive noobs and have a decent Slayer level, this is of interest for you. So let's just jump over and take a look at this spidery boy. So I've read this first bit, and essentially it's a port of an RS3 boss that has been around for a while, but it isn't actually a direct port. It's literally just the name and the style of the monster in a certain sense, but other than that it's completely different, so don't get all panicky and get your knickers in a twist. The old school team have worked it and changed it a little bit, so it's not a complete direct port, but it does sound quite cool. Like I said, it does require 92 Slayer to fight, and it does come with like little minions and stuff that you can kill. So like with Hydra task, you don't actually have to kill the alchemical Hydra, you can just kill the little Hydra boys. So yeah, if you can't be asked the boss, you're not forced to. The fight is essentially, you can control how hard you want to make the fight yourself. It's not as hard as the Awakened Desert Treasure 2 bosses or the Fortis Colosseum. And like I said, you can control how hard you want the fight to be. You can either be a really controlled person and take care of his little minions first and then kill the boss, or you can just fucking Hail Mary it, attack the boss and hope for the best, hope that the minions don't kill you before you kill the boss, which is quite a cool little feature. I imagine a lot of people are just going to whack the shit out of the boss and not care about the minions in the slightest, because people learn how to min-max this game so quickly, and I imagine as we're speaking, this patch note came out yesterday, people will have already thought about how to deal with this boss even though we know very little about it. I guarantee it, someone will have gone, oh, I'll take the Berserker Ring Eye, and then I'll take the fucking Soul Reaper Axe. Yeah, guaranteed people have already figured out what they're going to do for this, and they're probably just going to fucking two-shot it. And now we've got the rewards from the boss. We've got a new Slayer Helm, Cosmetic thingamabob, which just looks like you've got some dildos on your head, and an extra couple of eyes. Not a massive fan of this, to be honest, but I'm weird and I like the KBD Slayer Helm, and that's about it. But if you like this sort of thing, cool. It's a little concept for you. And then obviously there's a pet as well, another spider pet in the game. They can hang out in your POH with your Arachnis, Spindle and Venenatis pets. They can all just have some kind of like 8-legged party orgy thing, I don't know. Cool. I mean, people love pets in this game. I am yet to acquire one, so it doesn't bother me really, but it's nice to have something to strive for or farm the boss for. I just kind of hope the boss has some good alchables, so I'm sure it will do. Hydra's a fucking money printer anyway in it, so this is probably going to be very similar. And then they're talking about the jars, so like obviously the jar of dirt, and this is the jar of venom. Normally the jars were tradable, but the jar of venom is untradable, which is putting them in a weird spot. They don't know if they're going to go forward and make all the jars untradable, or if they're just going to start making them untradable from this moment forward. I've never had a jar, but I don't know why they're tradable anyway. Like, it feels weird to me that someone else has gone out and got a kill on, I don't know, on Kraken, say, and then someone on the GE has come along and thought, fuck it, I'm going to have a bit of that man's glory and take his fucking jar of dirt or whatever it is. Yeah, weird to me. I don't think jars should have been tradable anywhere, ever. It's someone else's achievement and you're sort of just, I don't know. Yeah, but I think maybe that's just a bad thing about the GE anyway. Just stealing someone else's shit. Down with the GE. Consumable rewards. After all that pent hunting, you're going to want a snack. Or at least something to sell on for your efforts. Everything in this section is tradable. Okay, so Araxxor Venom Gland, which is a new item. Believe it or not, this is consumable. It will deal 4 venom damage while curing and providing 20 seconds of immunity to venom. It may be gross, but it's a nice trick to have in your back pocket when you're trying to extend the trip to Araxxor without banking to grab more anti-venom plus potions. Incidentally, the Venom Gland can be used to brew the new Extended Anti-Venom Plus potion. So Herblaw's getting some more stuff, and with Valamore Part 2 coming out, apparently there's like a Herblaw minigame thingamabob coming out as well, so Herblaw is probably going to get looked at in the near future. Regular Anti-Venom Plus potions provide 3 minutes of immunity, and the extended one extends the effect to 6 minutes per dose. This means you'll be able to start a whopping 24 minutes of venom immunity in a single inventory. And then we've got the Arania boots. Fuck knows. Anyway, these unconventional kicks are set to be crafted from somewhat rare drop. They offer some serviceable tribrid stats, but come with an added ability which grants occasional immunity to spider webs. Sounds pretty niche, really. Assuming you haven't negated the effects of a spiderweb in the last 10 seconds, the Arania boots will grant you an immunity to the next web that you walk on. This could mean avoiding a punishing mistake against Verzic Veto, saving some run energy at Venenatis, or perhaps preventing Arachnis' binding web. They've given you some examples of where you'd use them. This may not be the most impactful drop, but we thought it was on theme, niche, and a welcome addition to the loot table. Not every unique needs to be a game changer. Well, fair play, Jagex, actually. I like it. The Noxious Halberd. They're bringing the Halberds back into the limelight. People have been going absolutely apeshit on Twitter and Reddit about this, saying that it should be a scythe. It should be cooler. Halberds aren't fucking cool. But I think Halberd's quite cool. The trusty Halberd, long gone are the days when we watched enviously as our elven trap-dodging friends safe-spotted Tsar over vents. Now these lengthy weapons are more likely to be found mouldering in Alkapile, only seeing sunlight to deliver the odd special attack or two. It's time to change that, with the Noxious Halberd wrapping up a Halberd whose primary use is as a DPS weapon. Special attack cures you of any poison or venom, buffs your next attack's accuracy and damage by 1% based on how severely poisoned you were. Has a 33% chance to inflict your target with venom, increased to 50% when used alongside the Serpentine Helmet. So get farming Zulrah then, guys. Whoa, that's a lot of numbers. For context, the Noxious Halberd has similar DPS to the Blade of Saildor. It's 5 tick, means that it scales worse with gear than the 4 tick blade, so it won't be best in slot contender. On top of its raw stats, you'll have a 33% chance per swing to inflict venom on your target, assuming it isn't immune, which is increased to 50% chance when used in conjunction with a Serpentine Helm. All this means the Noxious Halberd packs a pretty punch, but it also supports a special attack. We still intend for it to be DPS focused rather than a spec weapon, but the spec will round out the Halberd's utility and hopefully add an extra use case or two. For 60% of your special attack energy, you can cure any poison or venom you're afflicted with and increase your next attack's accuracy and damage by that percentage. For example, if you're about to be hit for 20 venom damage, you can use the special to cure yourself and boost your next attack's accuracy and damage by 20%. So there'll be some cool like play that you can use, especially with that heart thing that you said that you could use to inflict venom damage on yourself, right? Could you envenom yourself and then spec venom yourself and then do extra damage? Is that how that would work? I don't know. So how valuable is the Halberd's extra attack range? Since this is a unique feature of the weapon, it's harder to compare than a simple strength or slash bonus. It could make all the difference in Verzic's second phase or when staying further away from burning teammate in Great Orm's chamber. We want to know where you would be excited to use the Halberd. That puts it. I would be excited to use the Halberd on my brine rat tasks because I have a shit slayer level. The Amulet of Rancor is the thing that most people are up in arms about. They're saying that it's a bit fucking... They're saying that it should require a torture to make. People are complaining that Zenites are going to go down, or like, what's the point of making Zenite jewellery now if this thing is going to be out? Like, people are just going nuts. Next, we have the Amulet of Rancor, which supersedes the Amulet of Torture as the best in slot melee amulet, and will be a rare drop from Araxxor compared to the other amulet slot offerings. Torture wasn't that far ahead of Fury, so there's plenty of room to upgrade. Compared to the Amulet of Torture, the Amulet of Rancor offers +5 to slash, stab and crush accuracy and a further +2 strength bonus, which may increase max hit in some setups. The only requirement to equip this nifty necklace is a hefty 90 hit points, which is a stretch beyond the requirements for Zenite jewellery. Yeah, this is the issue. So it's better than the thing that you make with Zenite jewellery, right? Which requires like 90 odd crafting to make, and this just comes along and blows that right out of the water because all you need is 90 hit points, which is pretty mental, especially for ironmen who fucking grind out like 90 plus fucking crafting. They've just wasted all that time. Good job getting your fucking crafting up when the Amulet of Rancor just comes along and takes a massive piss all over it. But hey-oh. While many of you will be able to buy and trade these, we know Irons are interested to know how they'll make one. The Zenite Amulet, from which the Amulet of Torture can be made, requires a whopping 98 crafting, which doesn't leave a lot of room for a requirement increase. Instead, the crafting requirement for the Amulet of Rancor will be in the 80s, since we expect it's easier to work with nice squishy spider parts than a precious gemstone. I mean, that doesn't really make any sense either. Why on earth, why does it require less of a crafting level to make something that's better? That doesn't make any sense. That's all we've got to share with you today. We'll be running an in-game poll. Make sure you all go and vote on the poll. I would highly recommend doing so you can see what changes you want to see in the game. And yeah, that is it for this week's patch notes. I would highly recommend going to watch this video. It's pretty cool. But yeah, that's me rambling on, going through the patch notes for you, with you, in tandem with you, I guess. I don't know, fuck knows. So to conclude then, my opinion on the boss. 92 Slayer is quite a high requirement, which kind of instantly locks people out of it who don't play this game a mass amount. But that's fine. I'm not saying it should be allowed to be found by people who don't play as much as other people. I think 92 is fine. It's definitely achievable, obviously. It'll just take some people longer to get there than others, but obviously you can't just have it the same for everyone. The pet looks cool. The Slayer helm I'm not really a fan of. The cosmetic for that. The Halberd looks like a really nice little addition with some intuitive play that could be made from it. You could definitely do some cool stuff with that. The addition of the anti-venom plus potions is a nice addition to herb lore, which is a skill that I feel like needs looking at along with smithing. It doesn't really make sense, for example, that you have to wait till 70 odd herb lore to make ranging potions, but attack and strength potions are like level 3 or whatever. And smithing obviously requiring 90 odd smithing to make a rune scimitar, but only needing 70 to make the fucking zombie axe. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I like the Halberd. I think it's a cool idea. I like the idea of adding more content to the game in forms of Slayer. I think Slayer as a whole sort of needs looking at in terms of how to make it more enjoyable for people to play. Don't change the core mechanic of it, obviously, but maybe add more bosses or more superiors to different tasks to give people more of an incentive to do the skill as a whole. But yeah, I like it. It's a shame that it's a spider, to be honest. It would have been nice to see some more variety in the game other than our 8-legged friend, but it is what it is. Spiders are notoriously just bad, so I can see why people are like, just make it a spider, because everyone likes killing spiders. It is what it is. But yeah, I'm going to go back to Gardens of the Rift now and continue filming my first time Iron Man series. It's going pretty well. Thanks for watching, team. Peace.